Thank you for supporting me and my channel. I truly appreciate you watching this video. So with this zero-based budget video, I wanted to go through how I've gotten to where I decide what to put in each of my envelopes and how I decided also what I wanted my envelope categories to be. So this is kind of like setting up a budget and my budget plan for this paycheck. So to start off, you're going to want to go and grab your bank statement. I didn't want to like pull one up because I feel like that's very personal, and it would also show where I go shop, and then you could also see more than you probably want, or I want you to see. Anyways, so I just wrote up a little mock-up, but what you're going to do is you're either going to put symbols by the different categories, or you can choose a highlighter color and highlight with that color for that category. The categories I just wrote down, there's tons, and you can go just Google like most common categories of spending or something, but for this I just made one up real fast. So for my key, the heart's going to be fast food and dining out, a star for gas, smiley face groceries, diamond car maintenance, and little bubbles for miscellaneous. So you're just going to go through your bank statement and be like, oh, McDonald's, that's fast food, so you're going to put a heart next to it. Chevron for gas, oh, put a star by it. And Venmo, I would consider miscellaneous or a bill, but for now we'll just put miscellaneous. And then Walmart was probably groceries, so we'll put a smiley face. Car wash, I would consider a car wash car maintenance because it's upkeeping the outside of your vehicle. So that's going to be a diamond. And then Wendy's is fast food again. And then you'll just go through and look, okay, we spent quite a bit of money on different times on fast food. Maybe we should cut back and do more of a meal plan. Like, oh, $10 for a car wash, I guess that's okay, but if you don't want to spend that much money, you could always, at first, buying all the stuff to wash your own car is expensive, but over time it is cheaper because it's not like you're doing the labor yourself, so you're not having to pay for the labor in that. But again, I don't do that. I just take my car to the car wash whenever I have extra gas money at the end of my paycheck, or take it out of car maintenance folder. But yeah, that was a little spiel, but this is how you're gonna help choose what categories you have and how much you put in them. So if I see, oh, I went to the car wash, and if you go and look back on a couple other months and see how often you go to the car wash, okay, maybe that's not like something you can just take out of your sinking fund for your car maintenance. Maybe that's something to be putting away every paycheck to make sure you have that for when you go to the car wash. So this is where you're going to decide, okay, do I do this a lot or not very often? And this will also help you, because then when you go and say, okay, how much grocery money do I need? You can go and look at all the times you've gone to the grocery store, count up how much money you've spent, think about how much you've wasted and all that, and then decide, okay, this is my budget. This is what I'm going to do, and this is realistic because it's based on what you've actually spent. So just some things to think about, but definitely categorize what you're spending on. This will especially help when you get to, okay, is it a want or a need? So that's always a very good place to start. Even if you're not doing zero-based budgeting, with any budget, if you just go and look back on what you've spent your money on, you can decide from there, okay, yeah, I've gone out to eat a lot, let's eat in more. So always just take a look back and don't feel embarrassed about what you've spent or what you've done. You're only human, and it's so easy to just swipe your card, and if you're tired, to just go out to eat. So cut yourself some slack. You're doing the best you can with whatever's going on in your life. Be good to yourself, be kind to yourself. You are better than you believe. So start off with that no matter what. Now, if you want to do zero-based budgeting or just make up a budget for anything, I suggest starting with your high priorities, so what you need your money to go towards. So for me, and this is different for everyone, for me it's my bills and my debt repayment, so my power, my gas, my sewer, trash and water, internet, car insurance, phone bill, and my personal credit card bill. And then my subscriptions are high priority to me, but if I need to go out without them, I can. But for me, these are my subscriptions I want. So that's why I put them on this high priority. They come out automatically every month. So to me, I need to make sure I have that money in there because it's automatic. So for us, that's Xbox Live, Spotify, Acorns, Amazon Prime, and our pest control. And then also another high priority for me is our savings. It's super important to me to be able to, in the future, have 3 to 6 months saved up. Right now, I'm working on 3 months of emergency savings in case anything happens. And I'm nowhere near my goal, but I'm just starting. So no matter what, always put something into savings if you can. So you have something to fall back on if you ever need it. So those are my high priorities. And then next is still kind of high priority. Like I'm still deciding, okay, my living expenses are my needs. So that's like groceries, gas, dining out, clothing, car maintenance, pets, and medical. Those are things that are variable expenses, but they're not taken out auto pay or anything. So I feel like for this, I have all of this set up on auto pay, and this is always going to be the same for the most part. I mean, sometimes our power and gas is different, but for the most part, this is always going to be the same. This is all my variable. So I guess what makes it more easy to comprehend is that you're going to split up between your auto pay versus variable, fixed versus variable. So that's the main difference. So that was my bills and stuff. That is fixed. That's always going to come out, and that's the same every time for the most part. And then this is my variable. And so I kind of go again, high priority, low priority. My needs are what I feel like I need. We need groceries for food and dining out sometimes. And then we need gas for our cars if we want to get to work because we work pretty far away from our house. We need clothes on our back. I mean, you can't just run around naked. At least I won't. And we need to have money for our car, to take care of our car so it can get us to the places we need to be. And then I have my low priority, and these are my wants, and I feel like that's more of what a sinking fund is for. It's like a folder to put your money for your variable in like your variable expenses, but mostly for your wants. At least that's what I find. So for my wants, that's like money for gifts and Christmas and stuff, just year round. For my bunko, traveling. For my budget channel, date nights. And with date nights, I also just want to put out there, please be going on dates. You need to go on dates, even if you're married. And it doesn't have to cost money. You could just go for a walk. You could go to the park. You can just sit and watch TV together and pop some popcorn or something. But it doesn't have to be expensive. But occasionally treat yourself to a really nice evening with your partner. Always, always, always. And then like this low priority for me is also like self-love, self-care, and beauty. I don't get my nails done every day. Like, not every day, but like I don't go out and get my nails done. Like I do them from home if I can. But I definitely do like to go out sometimes and get my nails done by a professional, go out and get my toes done, get my hair cut, stuff like that. And that's kind of low priority. That doesn't happen very often, and when it does, it's a variable expense. So I feel like that's the basis of where you're going to need your budget to come from. And so once you have all of your different categories wrote out, write down what amount that you think you will need or what you know you'll need. So like, for example, most of my bills are put on a fixed rate. So my power, we've got it bumped up, but it's $48 a month. And my gas bill for the house is gone up to $68. And then our sewer, trash, and water are all on one bill, and that's our city bill. And that's $70 and something cents, but I'll just put 70. Our internet's 70. Our car insurance is every 6 months, but it's about $68 per month if we were to stretch it out, and that's for 2 of us and 2 cars. Anyways, our phone bill is, I think it was $120. Could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. And then our monthly minimum credit card is $42, but we always pay at least $100 on there. So these are our monthly expenses. And then depending on how many paychecks you get, whether you're doing a dual income, single income, then you're going to go and split this between however many paychecks you have monthly, just to make it manageable. But yeah, so you'll just go through all of your different categories, write down all of your expenses, and this is monthly. And my husband and I get paid twice a month, so bi-monthly, but he pays all of these bills. I pay the mortgage, and it is about equal. So that's what we do. That's what works for us. But then you're going to have your monthly, and then you're going to have your bi-monthly, or if you get paid bi-weekly or every week, then you'll just go and split this amount up by that many paychecks that you have in the month. And then that'll be how much your budget is going to be, how much of your income you're going to be putting towards your budget per each category. So you're just going to go, so for us, it'd be dividing this by 2. So it'd be 24, 34, 35, 35, 34, 60, and 50. So this is how much we're putting in per paycheck. And then it kind of just makes it easier so you're not overwhelmed, like, oh, I have to put $50 towards my power, I have to put X amount of money. So this just kind of is like, okay, yeah, so for this one, I'm just going to put this much, so then I still have a little bit of money to put somewhere else, like in where you, like if you have a trip coming up, go ahead, put it in your travel. And it doesn't have to be, these ones I say should be the same amount every paycheck. But if like you do just want to pay all your bills with your first paycheck, you can do that. I just find that this makes it a little easier so that you do have some more flexible spending, and you're not just overwhelmed with all these bills at the first or towards the end of the month, if that makes sense. So you're going to split up your bills. Sorry, it's super windy, and I don't know if you can hear the howling, but it's the wind. Super windy for cash. Super windy for us today. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, you're just going to go through everything, figure out how much you want to put, and when you get to your variable expenses and your sinking funds, and you're just going to go through, so your needs, I feel like, is going to be the same amount every time. And for me, clothing is not a need right now because I have clothes. It's more of like I'm saving up for when I need new clothes because my clothes either got worn out or I just need new clothes. So for me, this one will go down here, but that is just a personal preference. But you're going to go through here and say, okay, so your monthly bill for groceries is like $200 or something, and that's monthly. And then per paycheck, you're going to say, okay, so we're going to probably need like $100 per paycheck for groceries. And you can definitely switch it up, but I feel like for your bills, savings, and then your needs, you're going to want to put kind of like a fixed amount on those just so you know what's coming. You're not surprised, and it just, to me, makes sense to keep your needs consistent so that you always have what you need. And then your low priority or your wants is where you can really start. Okay, so let's say after everything, you'll only have $63 or something like that, which is quite a lot, I would say. After all of these living expense needs, because I feel like that sometimes gets out of control. With me personally, so like pets, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just give the dog $20 so I can go get him more snacks. But definitely do what you feel you can manage. Don't put such a strict budget on your groceries if you don't think that you can handle it. Give yourself a little wiggle room. So you only have $200, well, give yourself $150 this paycheck if you're still like worried about that, you know? Like, make sure that you're paying attention to what you need and not just what you want to happen, I feel like. And again, don't feel discouraged if you don't stick to your budget completely perfectly. There's always next time. It's not all or nothing. just be like, oh, I went over in that category. Well, I still want to stick with my budget for going to this other category. So we'll just do better from here on out, kind of. Don't just give up. It takes a lot of time to get used to a budget. So for like, back to my low priority. So you have $63. So let's say you're going on a trip soon. Let's put $50 in here because it's coming up really fast and you didn't plan on it. It's kind of like a short notice. So then you still have $13. And I know that I always put $5 in Bunko so that I have money for Bunko. And that's just a necessity for me. And then I know that I really like to put $5 in a gift. So I'll put $5 in there. And I still have $3 and I can put it wherever I want. So let's say I want to go on a date soon. I'll put my $3 in there. And then these categories get nothing this paycheck. And that's totally fine. Again, it's super flexible. It's your budget. Do what you want to do with your money. This is your budget, no one else's. And it's okay if it doesn't work. You can always readjust. It took me 5 paychecks, so like 2.5 months to finally get a budget that I like. And it is what it is. Like, you can't be perfect all the time, and that's okay. So, just recap, go through your bank statements, categorize everything, figure out where you're spending your money. And then from there, you can really decide what you want to spend your money on elsewhere. So do that first. Next, make sure you have all your bills and your auto pays, your fixed expenses wrote down, and how much you're going to pay per month so that you can just see where you're at. And then go through and write down your variable needs, groceries, gas, dining out, stuff like that. And then you're going to write all those down, how much you want to spend per month. This is not what you usually spend for most of these, but what you want to spend. This is where you're going to start to rein in your expenses. And this is where you're going to start to say, yeah, I can improve here. So put what you want to spend in here. And then in your wants, these are kind of like mini savings folders for you. And so these can all just go into one savings folder, and then you can be like, yeah, I'll pull some out for gifts or whatever. But for me, I like to categorize it so I just know, okay, this is what this is for. And then I'm not just like, oh yeah, I have money in there and you just go spend it on gifts. No, this is what it's for. And that's why I like this zero-based budget and categorizing your budget so that you can just say, okay, yeah, this money has a purpose and this is not its purpose. So I'm not going to spend this money on this other thing. Just helps keep it all separated. And then, yeah, so that's where your money goes last, your wants. Make sure you get your needs taken care of first. And I feel like that's kind of the basis for cash budgeting. So into my actual budget for this paycheck now that I've explained how to get where I've gotten. So we'll see you in just a minute. Okay, and we're back. So I wrote out all my categories, and this is for my April 20th paycheck for anyways. My income for this paycheck is $1,057.85. So I know that for my mortgage, I'm always going to put $485 per paycheck because per month I do $970 is my mortgage. So $485 is half of that, so I always put half of that in there. And for my credit card this month, I'm paying more than the minimum. I'm trying to get this paid off before the interest rate goes into effect in November. So it's 0% interest right now, and we put quite a few big ticket items on there. So we're just trying to get it paid off now before we do get that interest. But the amount I'm putting in this paycheck is $178.94, just to bring it back to a perfect $100 balance, kind of. So now I'm sitting at $1,900 after this payment. So it's just a beautiful round number. For gas, I'm going to do $50 this paycheck, where I'm putting more towards the credit card. And debt repayment, I'm doing less, where my husband and I are carpooling. But yeah, there's that. And then for payback, I'm going to be doing $125 And this is to repay my dad and my in-laws for the college money they let me borrow. So I'm paying them back. They are so gracious, and I'm so grateful that they had the means to help me pay for my college. So now I'm just trying to pay them back. It's not as fast as I would love to, but it's better than nothing. And for our pest control is getting $15, and they come quarterly, and it's $90, so that's about $30 a month. This pen is dying. Let's see. We'll try this one. Okay, so that's $30 a month, so I really want to do $15 a paycheck. Not a huge deal. It's going on that credit card that I'm paying off as well, so I'm just saving up this pest control money and making a lump payment when I go to pay off my card. So yeah, there's that explanation that I don't think you needed. So I'm going to total all of these up now, and that's $853. I have this wrote down on the side just so you know. 94, because I always can't add up fast enough. And then let's see, we're gonna go and take the 1,057.85 and subtract it from the remaining, but I didn't write that down, so I'll just do that real quick over here on my calculator on the side. Okay, and that leaves us with $221.91. Next, I'm going to be coming over to my savings, because if you remember from a few minutes ago, I do my bills and my savings first. Those are my high priorities. Those are fixed. Those always come out a fixed rate. So next, my regular savings always gets $20. This is what I chose. And then the remaining cents. So I'm just going to do this 91. So it's going to be $20.91 going in my regular savings. And then I have a high yield savings, which I put $10 in every paycheck. And this is going to go towards my future car one day. Next, so I've been putting, for my 2022 savings challenge, it's getting 45 this go around. And then for my 100 envelopes, I'm putting in money excess of what I made before I got my raise. And so all my raise, the amount I've gotten from my raise, is going in my 100 envelopes. And at the end of the year, I'm going to use that to make a big old payment to my debt and to family for school. So I had to dip into it a bit to get to this credit card payoff amount, but I feel good about putting my money there because it would have gone to debt repayment in January anyways. So I did dip into it, but I'm still saving $46 extra. Okay, so this total is $121.91. And then we'll take that away from our $221.91. That leaves us with $100. And then I'm going to go, these are my everyday kind of sinking funds. And then my occasional sinking funds. I don't dip into these very often. So my everyday in groceries is getting $5, dining $5. My husband does most of the flexible spending, so that's more of his kind of responsibility, but I have money there in case I need to use it for like eggs or milk or bread or something. And I'm not going to put anything in spending or miscellaneous this go around because I don't want to take that money away from something else that I can be putting into somewhere else. So that leaves us with $90 to go into our sinking funds. And my sinking funds, my gifts is getting 0 because I have gift cards that I got. Christmas is 5, pets 5, bunko 5. Date night is going to be getting $1. And I usually do these top 4 categories with $5 because I feel like that's good enough to let it add up. Anyways, medical is getting 20. I'm really trying to bulk this sucker up because my deductible is like $8,000. It's fine, I guess. Anyways, just bulk it up in case anything happens. Car maintenance is getting $5. New whip is getting $5. Self-love is getting 2. Travel is getting 2. Clothing is getting 2. Actually, let's do 1. And budgeting is getting 1. Because I forgot to put that on my other one. So this should equal 90. So 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. That should not equal 90, but that should probably be more than $52. Where did I mess up? See, guys, I messed up. 853.94, 121.91. Oh, when I calculated it, I switched my 5 and my 3 in 853. No, all my stuff's wrong. So this one was 203.91. So this is not $100 no more. Whatever. So I have it correct on my thing. So 1,000. It'll just make sense. I'm just gonna skip my remaining because I just messed up that really bad. I'm an accountant, but I suck at public math. So my income was my $1,057.85. My cash envelopes is 10. My sinking funds is 52. Savings 121.91. And my debt repayment or bills is 853.94. And so all of this taken away from this is going to leave me with $20. And that is my cushion. So normally you want it to equal 0, but I want a cushion in there in case one of my bills goes higher, or I have an unexpected expense, or if I need more money for gas and I didn't plan on it. So that's what my cushion is for. I don't want to spend it. I want it to stay in there, and eventually that'll go into savings, but at the moment it'll just stay in my account as a buffer. So that's what my cushion is, and that's what I feel safe with having in there. So this is my budget for this paycheck, and I can't believe I freaking messed that up. Okay, I can. I'm brilliant, but I made a mistake, and that is just how it goes. I'm only human. I still love myself. Okay, anyways, that was my budget, and I hope that made sense. Let me know down below if you have any more questions, if you want me to answer something. But I did have a couple questions about my budgeting, so I felt it would be very helpful to be like, okay, this is how I set up my budget. But yeah, I hope you like this, and I'll see you in the cash stuffing, my favorite videos. Anyways, see you in a bit. Not a bit, I guess. Well, kind of in a bit if you go to click on it. But we'll see you again later. Stay happy, stay grateful, and we'll see you next one. Bye!